Okay, so for the first video, what are my key takeaways? So the speaker first talks about the difference between the feed forward and the feedback controller system. So for the feed forward, it starts off with the reference and then to the feed forward controller, which has a function, and this function then affects the system, which is also affected by external disturbances and is then delivered into the output. So it's a very straightforward or open loop system, which is why as it reaches the output, there are no noises that are fed back. Hence, it is quite sensitive to disturbances and errors and whatnot. And unlike the feedback system, as it reaches the output, the noises are then delivered or fed back. It first reaches the state estimation and is then fed back into the feedback controller for any necessary adjustments. Hence, it can be labeled a self-correcting system. And for number two, why was the video helpful? Why or why not? The video was definitely helpful because the speaker used a block diagram and also examples. So, for instance, for the feedback, he used a block diagram which displayed or visualized how it would look like. So it first goes into the feedback and then to the system, and as it reaches the output, it first undergoes the state estimation and is then fed back into the controller. And these were visualized through boxes and arrows, which made it easier to understand. And of course, he also used an example of a car. So for example, the function of a car would be the position of the pedal in relation to the speed. And yeah, it makes it really easier to understand. So insights gained as a future engineer. So honestly, for me, like topics like these really emphasize the importance of being systematic. So for example, when we try to make these like feedback systems, for it, of course, we could never expect that everything would work under ideal conditions. Hence, we should always consider like the feedback system of it. And when we create these feedback systems, we also can't like take it for granted. We should also consider proper planning. As mentioned by the speaker, he talked about, like, for example, in the car example, he talked about taking into account driver safety and regulations, passenger safety. He also took into account like what would happen if a person would be walking by and such. So these should be carefully thought out. So when we talk about making systems, we should not take them for granted as future engineers. Rather, we should really be systematic about it, and we should carefully think of it, or it should be carefully thought out.